Hello, my name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to my Booktube Predictions for 2023. I saw it going around, as usual, on social media, the people who would, post their notes app predictions for the new year, and it was a lot of, celebrity drama type stuff. I'm not going to be doing that. It's more of a, here's what I've noticed going on in the Booktube community already. Here's where we'll probably continue to go. Although, I have a feeling that I'm probably going to be way far off because less than a week into the new year, as I film this, and already major nonsense has gone down. Like the author that faked their suicide suddenly coming back, like they thought they could just waltz back into being an alive author. Okay, and then we have the author going on days-long Twitter rants, coining the term dry pussy energy because a booktuber didn't like his work. It's not even been a week. So I could, theoretically, do what a lot of people do when they make these predictions videos and go off those kind of previous dramas and just predict that a similar type of drama will occur this year. I could say something like, an author will be gone for 6 months and thought dead, but then suddenly come back to a grand return. I don't know. Or I could say Reads with Rachel is going to have a fist fight with J.M. Arlen in a Denny's parking lot. Do I think that will happen? No, but I hope it will. Do it, Rachel. I dare you. I know you watch these videos. Anyway, let's get on to what my predictions are actually going to be. Let's start with one of the obvious ones. BookTok will continue to lead the way in relevancy, and BookTube will continue to trail after them. BookTube has never been great at hopping onto new things or really jumping on to fresh trends. It tends to wait until the publishing industry gives them a go-ahead for something, and BookTok doesn't give a shit. And as a result, BookTok has created the virality that BookTube had always hoped to. And we can talk about this, the reasons why, whether or not it's a good thing, blah, blah, blah. But I think just in general that this is going to continue. I honestly, big picture prediction here, I don't think BookTube is ever going to overtake BookTok. Unless the app TikTok fails and YouTube is all that's left. It's never going to catch up. That's just, that train has left the station. We just got to accept that we are not the trendy youngsters and move on. This next prediction is the one that I am the most excited for, and I really, really hope it comes to fruition, and that is that 2023 will be the year where indie books explode on BookTube in a big way that they never have before. Now, indie books have made their way onto BookTube, obviously. Other booktubers have read indie books before. There's an indie readathon, and a lot of other readathons will include indie prompts within their prompts. However, there's still been an ongoing myth of traditional publishing as this austere standard for the art, and indie publishing as somehow the dregs. But, in 2022, traditional publishing showed its ass in a way that it has never shown its ass before. And it has shown its ass before. There was just trash fire after trash fire throughout the course of 2022, some of which are still ongoing, that really diminished what a lot of people thought about traditional publishing. From the Department of Justice trial where they blocked the monopoly, and giant names in traditional publishing admitted that they are either outright liars willing to perjure themselves or completely delusional about how their own system works, to Barnes & Noble announcing that they were not going to carry that many newer releases, and this would, of course, affect marginalized authors more than non-marginalized. And of course, you have the HarperCollins strike that is still ongoing. As I film this, they have announced they are going to hire temps to refuse to give their previous employees a living wage. It just keeps getting worse. So this supposed chasm that people thought existed between traditional publishing and indie publishing in the way of quality has really been erased, as traditional publishing has basically admitted that it's just capitalism. They don't actually know what they're doing. They don't actually have the standards people think they do. They're just capitalists. So I'm really hoping that with the up till now slow growth of indie books on BookTube, plus the trash fire of traditional publishing, will mean that a lot more booktubers will take to indie books in a very big way. And I mean take, not just wait until the book gets popular on BookTok and gets hype enough and then decide to read it. I mean, like, actually reaching out and looking for indie recs. I would love it. If you need them, hello, yes, me, hi. Please feel free to ask for indie recs. I love it whenever, like, a friend says, oh, if you want indie recs, go to Margaret, or like tags me under posts for indie recs. Like, yes, keep doing that. Please keep doing that. I love that. And I really hope that this comes to fruition and we see BookTube finally take to indie books the way the community always should have. Because outside of a few pockets of people reaching out, BookTube has not been great to our fellow indie creators. And yes, I said fellow indie creators, because if you are a booktuber, you are indie as well. And that is a whole rant video that is somewhere in the pipeline in the future. So, I predict that one will come out this year as well. But on to the next one. The last prediction might be the most controversial, hence why I put it at the end. And that is, I predict that 2023 will see the final death throes of the readathon. Now, if you've paid attention to BookTube, this one might sound weird, because you might be thinking to yourself, Margaret, there are still readathons everywhere. What are you talking about? To that, I ask, are those things actually readathons? Like, if we did not already have readathon as a buzzword and concept in the community, and all of these things came out today, would we call them readathons? Because the original readathon, Booktubeathon turned Reading Rush, asked a lot out of its participants. 5 books in a week, nearly a book a day. That's why it was named after a marathon. It was meant to push you a ton. Modern readathons, as a result, are not that. At least the majority aren't. That week-long concept might still exist, but it's much more popular to see a readathon that's 2 weeks or a month. And these month-long readathons aren't asking their participants to read 20 books. For example, I just participated in the Reindeer readathon in December that asked for a maximum of 9. You literally could not read more than 9. Quick correction, the Reindeer readathon had a maximum of 10 prompts. I always forget that once you've done the 9, you could go back and do one more. But after that, you could not enter any more points. There are other readathons like the Whateverathon that lets you pick whatever number you want, as few as 1 book. There are readathons that use bingo boards to say that you can win the readathon with as little as 3 or 4 over the course of a month. And to be clear, this is not a bad thing. The original readathon concept was never going to be a healthy thing with as widely as it's grown. No one was going to be able to keep up with that wild reading pace doing one readathon after another, because there's just readathons all over the place these days. It was never going to be healthy. As a result, people had to slow down what they were asking of readers. People had to add other ways for people to compete or win that didn't actually require going above and beyond what your normal reading would be anyways. Because for a large number of the BookTube community, 8 to 12 books is what they would already be reading anyway. They just fit their regular TBRs into the readathon prompts. So I would argue that a lot of what we call readathons today aren't that. They're guided TBRs or competitions, yes. Still fun, obviously, still valid. I'm not saying that these events should go away. I'm just saying that they're not readathons. And I think readathons are gonna be done by the end of this year. Like, actual, you should be reading a ton readathons are gonna be done. Because, well, I think a lot of people just got burnt out on them really fast. There was just too many of them too quickly. Because for a short period of time, there actually was a thing where they would be asking for that number of books out of you, and there would be one readathon after another. There's a reason they slowed things down. I have also seen in some places, like the Indie Accords Discord server, that did what they called a guided TBR, where you could follow this little preset path with like a little story behind it, reading 6 books over the course of 2 months. So I foresee that we're going to accept that the term readathon is really just something we're using to mean a reading community event, as opposed to we are asking you to push yourself and read a ton. And again, not a bad thing. It's not like I want everyone to be obsessively reading a ton of books just to keep up with an event that theoretically has no real effect on your life. That's not healthy for anybody. But I would hope that 2023 is the year we're finally honest with ourselves and accept that not everything has to be a race. Sometimes we can just have a community reading event just for fun. I am still mad Team Stalking won this year though, but you know what? Candy Cane, we came in a solid second place. I'll accept it. And that is it. Those are my 3 predictions. Nothing groundbreaking, like I mentioned before, really just looking back at what has happened and seeing the trends as they continue on into 2023. What about you? Do you have any predictions for BookTube for the new year? Would you also like to see Reads with Rachel fight J.M. Arlen in a Denny's parking lot? Please let me know. I would be thrilled to hear about them. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.